apologies if you got a frozen stream from us just now. We've just done. We've just started over again, and we were just making the point, I think, before the stream froze, that any product that we create has to be absolutely delightful. So we're going to work through this. We're going to show you today a lot of stuff that is designed for the next few years. And I just want to make it clear, everything we're showing you today is so that you have a vision about whether you want to invest in this company and back this company and support this company as we move forward. The products will be rolled out step by step in the coming months. We're going to do some really next level stuff, and all of the new products are going to be not just speedy, not just based on a system, which has been part of our principle from the beginning, but they're also going to be smart. So we're joined at the moment by Jace with Rex over at Iontra. Iontra have got a technology 10 years in the making that allows us to improve battery performance by 2, 3, or even sometimes 4 times, depending on a bunch of different factors. 2, 3, or 4 times upgrading in battery performance. Now, that's an extraordinary claim to make. I do have to say that it varies from battery to battery and application to application, but a doubling of performance is common, and in certain circumstances it can go significantly higher than that. I want to be clear that what you're going to see has been reviewed and verified by 4 esteemed bodies. UL Solutions, this is the century-old testing lab. If you look around your house, a lot of the electronics that you have, particularly stuff that plugs into the wall, will have a certification, and most of it will either be certified by UL Labs or by ETL. There's the two kind of big companies in the world. So UL has an absolutely stellar reputation. This work has also been reviewed by NREL, which is the National Renewable Energy Lab. This is part of the federal government, part of the US Department of Energy. Also, a company you probably haven't heard of before unless you're in the business, Novonix. They're an advanced lithium-ion battery technology company. They've looked at this as well as the University of Michigan. So this stuff has been beyond peer reviewed. It's extraordinary, and we're very, very excited about this partnership between MAGFAST and Iontra. So I'm just going to, guys, if you can be on standby, I'm just going to take folks through a little bit of the background of this so they've got a framework for the experiment that we're about to do. So let's take a look at rechargeable power banks. All right. Well, of course, they're way better than disposable batteries, which are just immediately go into landfill. But there are 2 big significant problems with them. The first is that they're kind of slow. They take 1 to 3 hours to recharge. As you know, we've got this experiment going on at the moment where we're charging a battery now. This one's been on for, where's my stopwatch? This one's been charging for a while now, and we're only at 18%. So they're slow to charge. I did an experiment actually before we came on and ran both of the chargers for 20 minutes. And as you can see, not that much. One of them got to 13% in 20 minutes, the other got to 28%. So these things are slow. And the other is a problem called DEG. DEG is degradation, which is where the batteries, they kind of wear out over time. And if I just put this graph up, there's going to be a couple of graphs. I promise they're simple ones that are easy to understand and explain. But this is a typical performance graph for the kind of batteries that are in the rechargeable goods that we have today. When you buy them, they're great. There's an initial degradation in performance that you don't typically notice. And then you get several hundred cycles, several hundred charges and discharges before they will start to drop off. It varies, again, according to the chemistry, according to the specification and the quality of the battery, but 500 is a very typical cycle. And the reason for this is if you look inside, you're going to get a rise in the resistance, an irreversible reduction in the rate at which electrical energy can be accepted by the battery or released by the battery. And you can actually see it in the real world. On the left here is an electron microscope picture of one type of battery when it's new, and you can see it all looks reasonably smooth. We're at a microscopic level here, so you're seeing the bumps in the materials. And on the right, can you see all of that junk that is built up on top of it after cycling and recycling 500 times? It's really something. Now, we asked Jace and the team over at Iontra to explain this to us. They said, Conventional charge leads to non-uniform current and ion intercalation, resulting in hot spots, dendrites and plating, loss of active material, reduced performance and greater potential of safety issues. And we said, ChatGPT, we don't understand that. Can you translate it into everyday English for us, please? And so this is basically what they're saying. They're saying with regular charging, the electricity, when it goes into the battery, it doesn't spread out evenly. And this can create areas that get too hot and cause tiny bits of metal and things to build up and make the battery lose power over time. And these problems make the battery less effective, ultimately totally ineffective, and maybe unsafe to use. And so that's why huge amounts of rechargeable batteries just become junk every year. We did a very rough back of envelope calculation. This is just a rough number. It may be higher, it may be lower, but you just get an idea of the order of magnitude. $65 billion a year. We calculated, as I say, a rough back of envelope AI estimate of the total waste from rechargeable batteries kind of reaching the end of their life every year. So what's the culprit here? What's going on? Well, rechargeable batteries are made up of, a bunch of batteries, rechargeable power banks. They're made up of these rechargeable batteries, plus inside they all have this thing called the BMS. It's called the battery management system. It's basically a chip and some software that regulate everything. They regulate how the power goes in, how it goes out, when to let in more power, when to reduce it, and so on. But the truth is that the BMSs of today, they're not very sophisticated at all. Let me show you a graph that maybe illustrates this a little bit. Let me just bring the graph up here quickly. Yeah. So when you're charging, you plug it, as we did today, you plug in your power bank charger. You might imagine that the charge looks something like this. It starts nice and fast. I think most of us are familiar with the fact that it slows down towards the end. Well, that's what it seems like, but here's what's going on inside of the battery. The charge is going violently up and down the whole time. It's extremely irregular, all right? You'd think it would be smooth, but it's really kind of crazy, and it causes all kinds of problems. I tried to find a nice simple diagram that explained this. This is the simplest, if you believe that this is the simplest one that I could find, but it's commonly used within the industry to explain the plethora of different things that are going wrong. I'll just you don't need to try and understand the diagram. I'm just going to highlight for you where they've listed here all of the different ways that the battery is degrading: dissolution and dendrite formation, SEI formation and buildup, solvent here we go again, co-intercalation and graphite exfoliation. You get the idea. It's very technical. There's a whole bunch of reasons that rechargeable batteries degrade and have to be thrown out far too soon. But it turns out that well over half of these reasons, okay, let's just highlight those, thank you, on the screen. Half of these are caused by this fluctuating current. Some of the other things are caused by other things. But if we could just fix this fluctuating current, we can make a huge difference to the life of the battery. What we need is a smarter battery management system. And that's what the folks at Iontra have spent a decade creating. This stuff is super smart. They've got 186 patents issued. And with this system, they can tune the BMS to do a whole bunch of things. They can increase the lifetime of the battery. Instead of 500, they can get to higher numbers of cycles. They can also increase the capacity of the battery, safely increase the capacity of the battery. Typically, batteries don't use all of their capacity. We can increase what's called the utilization significantly. The software can also, the software and appropriately a strong enough chip, you can't use any old chip, you need a slightly higher specification chip for the BMS, can also get charge in and out faster. They can also improve cold weather performance. As you know, batteries tend to be poor in the cold. And while they're about it, they can also improve the safety profile of batteries. So that's what Iontra have done. They've taken, sorry, I should have built the slide as I was talking about each of those. That's what Iontra have done. And I want to show you, I mean, if you pay attention to, if this is the only thing that you pay attention to this hour, I want you to see the video that I'm about to play you. So on the left-hand side of your screen and the right-hand side of your screen is electron microscope film of a battery and about the anodes of a battery viewed through an electron microscope. That's the kind of the metal contact inside of the battery. I'm going to show you, when I start the animation, It's a time lapse. It's a time lapse film of 1,200 full cycles. So to fill up and empty a battery 1,200 times, that takes quite a few weeks. Iontra do this. They have huge labs. They do huge amounts of this kind of cycling testing. So this is before and after, essentially 1,200 cycles. Just watch what is happening on your screen right now. Okay, as we go through using Iontra's technology, there's barely any change to the battery on the right. The one on the left has this extraordinary build-up. It's a truly, truly remarkable technology, and we have a unique relationship with Iontra. We're working with them to bring the first power bank to the market ever that's going to have this. And here's what's going to happen to degradation. You remember I showed you this graph? Okay, this isn't a specific product promise. It's an illustration of the kind of thing that we're going to be able to do. Degradation is going to go from something like 500 cycles to probably over 1,000 cycles with other product benefits as well. And in fact, you remember I showed you those different dimensions in which you can make improvements. You actually get to this is a three-dimensional graph. It's a little hard to show here, but you can plot. You can only obviously plot a three-dimensional that you can show to people. This one we plotted showing the trade-off between life cycle, capacity utilization. Remember I said utilization, and the charge rate. As I say, 3 dimensions isn't enough. We really also need to add dimensions in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensions for cold weather, for discharge speed, and for the safety profile as well. But we basically get to make choices with the way that we program this chip, with I want to call it recipes. By the recipe that we put onto the chip, we get to modify the battery performance. And the key thing that most people care about is known in the industry as the performance window. So a battery that typically had something like a 60-minute recharge, that would actually be pretty good. That would be pretty fast if you could get to 60 minutes and 500 cycles. You could apply a kind of a standard Iontra recipe to it and maybe improve the performance to perhaps 30 minutes to recharge and 1,000 cycles. So that's much better in everyday use, twice as fast to charge, and a significantly longer product life. If the product lasts twice as long, it means that each time you use it, it's kind of half the cost if you think about it. If you buy a product for $100 and it only does 500 charges, you're paying 20 cents each time you use it. If it lasts twice as long, you halve you halve essentially the cost of using it. Now, by having different recipes, we can change the performance window. We could, for instance, give up some of the charging time and get more cycles out of it. Maybe get 1,200 cycles at the expense of being able to move the power in quickly. Or you might want to go the other way. You might want a product that's essential that it charges very quickly every time, and a slightly lower number of cycles might be acceptable. So even though my voice is barely working at the moment, I think you can hear my enthusiasm, which is shared throughout our teams for this technology. We're super excited about this partnership with Iontra. So let's bring Rex and Jason, anyone who's over there at Iontra, back in at the moment. The first question I want to put this to Jace right away. Jason, the folks over there, they're big brain people, okay? All right. So I've tried to take their work and sort of simplify it so that it's kind of understandable. I just want to check, Jace. I appreciate that your work is sort of 1,000 times more nuanced than anything that I've just described. But was what I said a fair simplification of what you guys are doing?
Absolutely. I think you represented a fair way of what we're doing over here. So
good. That wasn't rehearsed, and I'm very relieved by his answer. So let's. Do you want to? Now that I've explained it, you guys are actually going to do a real.
Why don't we let Jay set up the scene, explain where we are, because we're actually in this kind of remarkable facility here at Iontra. So Jace, talk to us a little bit about where we are and what's going to happen.
Absolutely. So as mentioned before, at the worldwide headquarters of Iontra here, where we do all of our charging technology and recipe generation and battery, just specifications and stuff. And behind us, we have a whole bunch of rooms at which we do these experiments in charging here. And we will show you a setup like that for experiment today to show you how we can do our charging technology on the cells that MAGFAST are going to be using in their next generation. So that's very exciting.
So these are your cells that are going to be in your product when we ship next year.
Exactly. And so we're actually not in that development room right now. It's a little cramped, and also there's a lot of safety there. We here at Iontra, we take safety as a high priority, and so we have to wear PPE when we come there. Personal.
Is it like a sort of operating theater where people have to kind of or a nuclear facility? Sort of
a little bit, as Rex demonstrates here, but we're not actually going in. So you could take it off right now.
Anyway, so we've got in literally in one of these rooms just here, if Philip can bring it up, we have a camera that's trained on a kind of test. Imagine that this is kind of like a test power bank, right? This is the power bank before it's got shrunk down into the kind of products that we're going to be showing you in a moment, right? So Jace, explain what we're looking at here.
Exactly. At the bottom there, you'll see a little rack which has our test equipment that implements Iontra charging. So it has a Iontra charge controller, or ICC, as we've been saying, in there, and it's charging one of those cells right there. Now, we haven't started the charging yet. As you can see above it, it's just a digital multimeter, which means it reads voltage. So one of the key indicators of a battery and how it's charged is how much voltage it has. So as that goes up, the charge is going more into the cell. And then on top of that, once we start charging, you will see a meter which is communicating from that device below of how much of the cell have we charged. And so you'll see that there once we start a little bit later.
All will become clear because we're not actually starting this test power bank yet. We're not doing it yet because we're, of course, still looking at these guys here. Let's just kind of do a quick check-in.
We can, although if we're waiting for these to charge, the election is going to be over and being contested, I would think.
So how long have we been charging these guys for, Seymour?
Hang on, I need to get my stopwatch out. Stopwatch. We've been 37 minutes so far.
37 minutes in, and I'm showing 54 minutes. Sorry, 54%, nearly 55% on this one.
I'm at 53. Yep.
Okay, okay with the same guys. And what am I not seeing on this? Oh yeah, here we go. And actually the Qi 2 version is a little bit slower. So we're at about 28% for me on that guy.
Yeah, I mean these. I mean, I just want to say again, these are great products. These are good. These are state-of-the-art products from a worthy competitor. When you plug them, we've tested these before today. This one quotes about 2.5 hours to charge, give or take. This one quotes 1.5 hours to charge, and that's where the industry is at the moment.
And just to be fair, MAGFAST Gen 1 products would have taken
absolutely
that sort of time to charge before we had all the advantages. And there are a series of advantages. You've covered many of them, but we can actually, as we'll see, we can actually put more power into these new devices, making them, as far as we know, the very fastest products on the market anywhere to charge.
So we're going to start with a 10,000 milliamp hour product. It's a very popular power bank size, and I just want to check with the guys there. When do you want to start running the experiment? Because I don't know about anyone else, but I'm keen to see it get started. We're going to have to run a stopwatch on that as well.
We can start it any time you like because, well, I mean, we don't want to give away the surprise, right? But we can start any time you like. We can start it now. We can start it towards the end of the presentation.
I think we should start it now because I want as many folks to see this as possible. Let's fire it up. So just to be clear, this is the equivalent of what we've been doing here with these commercially available chargers. At the moment, it's not contained in the box, but we're taking the 4 cells from inside that are going to be part of this first product I'm about to show you. We're taking these 4 cells, we've hooked them up. Because of Iontra's work, they're able to accept more power, and they're able to accept it in a way that sucks the power in much more quickly, and also does it in a way that is much kinder to the internal chemistry of the battery. Is he ready to go? How long does he need to get started?
So just so you know, Jace is actually going into that dev room, and he's going to zoom in a little bit with the camera we have trained on it so you can see the numbers, because as you saw the whole of that test rack, which then gets shrunk into a power bank. Give him 2 or 3 minutes so he can do that.
So let me get started explaining about the product, and then maybe you can ping me when we're ready, because I've got so we're going to make a 10,000 milliamp hour product. It's a very popular power bank size. Why? You get 2 to 3 smartphone charges, okay, which is great. So you can take it out. It's kind of enough to top up the whole family on an average day out. You do your tablet once or twice, and I quite often do this, plug it into the laptop with my Lux cable and get an extra 1 to 4 hours depending on the kind of work that you're doing on the laptop. And it's very popular with frequent travelers and students and remote workers, and so from a marketing point of view it's great. Outdoor enthusiasts, rental companies love it as well, and for corporate business. So we don't have a drum roll sound effect, but I would like to show you the very first to market power bank, consumer power bank, that is going to contain this extraordinary Iontra fast charging technology. And here it is. We'd love your help naming it. We haven't even figured out the name yet, but I was so excited, I wanted to show it to you today. So this is the first MAGFAST 10,000 milliamp hour power bank with Iontra technology inside. All right, let's go through some of the features. So the first thing is it's going to have fast wireless magnetic charging of your devices. All modern devices have got this now, the Qi 2. And if your device doesn't, if you have an older device or you have one of the few new ones that doesn't, you can slip a case onto it and you will be able to do fast wireless magnetic charging. And once you switch to this, you'll never want to go back. We're also going to have fast wireless magnetic recharging, not full Iontra speed from wireless, but you'll be able to recharge wirelessly as well. So we've got Qi 2 wireless charging in and out. All right, 2 twin USB-C ports. I don't know about you, but I get very fed up with devices that have got these USB-C ports, and the ports do different things. You have to remember that this is the big one and this is the small one and this kind of thing. So we're doing twin ports that behave the same as each other and quite a lot of power. You can do, for instance, 100 watts out of one and 30 out of the other. Or, as I said, they're twins. You can use them the other way around. You can do 30 out of one and 100 out of the other. Or maybe do 65 and 65, a total of 130 watts. That's of power out to charge other things. And we're going to be able to bring in, thanks to Iontra, 140 watts of recharging. We're going to do the experiment in a minute to show you how that works. So this thing is absolutely gorgeous. It's perfect for laptops and smartphones and tablets. Frankly, it's perfect for everything. And it features this gorgeous screen. I want to talk a little bit about the screen here. Remember earlier on I said our new products are going to be smart. This is part of making them smart. So here, I'm not going to go through all of the elements on the screen, but you can see that there's this very beautiful, simple iconography. It's very easy to see the level of the charge. I don't know if you can see it kind of clearly enough on your screen. In fact, let's just zoom in on it a little bit here. You can get an idea of what's going on. Just glancing at it, you can see that right now we have indeed got 140 watts coming in through the left-hand USB-C. I don't know if you can see the arrow on your screen there, but it shows 140 watts in that lit up panel. Now, remember earlier on I talked about fast recharge performance, and we showed you a couple of different recipes. Well, we've been working with Iontra in this, and we're going to do something that we don't know, because they're working with various other manufacturers, not on this, but they're working on cars. They're working on all kinds of. If you can think of a rechargeable battery, I probably shouldn't say too much about their business, but if you can think of a rechargeable battery, they've got the technology, and you can only imagine who they're speaking to at the moment. So the choice. What do you think we should do? Should we go for a faster recharge and not so much extra product life, or should we go the other way and extend the product life as much as possible, but maybe take a little bit longer to charge? Well, the MAGFAST 10,000 milliamp hour product, our first of its kind, but launching with Iontra, is going to do both. It's going to have a dual performance window, and I'll explain how that works for you right now. Here's what we're going to do. When I showed you the screen just now, you may not have noticed this element on the screen. If we could just zoom in quickly on this element in the screen, here we go. Turbo and eco modes. You're going to be able to switch and choose what you want. Most of the time, you don't need a fast charge. So eco is going to be the default. All right, eco is going to be the default. It's going to give you the maximum product life. All right, but offering a more normal recharge time. Most of the time, you're charging overnight, or it's going to be you're going out this afternoon, you start charging now. But when you need it, you'll be able to switch into turbo mode, and turbo mode will just be a single touch of the button to select it. It's going to give very fast recharging time. We're going to show you that in just a second. All right, and each time you use it, there'll be a very slight reduction in the overall life of the product, but most of us won't use it that often. And even if you used it every time, you're still going to get a product with very, very competitive lifetime. To control all of this, we're going to have a matching app. You're going to have on your phone. Pairs beautifully and simply. I'll just flick you through a couple of the screens here. You can see they're all nice and simple. So I think at this point would be a good moment to move over and just chat quickly with Rex and Jace again. Are you guys there?
We are here, and we're ready to go. Philip, if you can just bring up the ICC. You can now see that we're kind of nicely zoomed in on that. You can't see the cells charging and so on and so forth, but what you can see is this display. Now, of course, nothing's happening. Just understand, nothing's happening yet. But Jace, who's just here next to me, can kick things off. Do you want to go to that right
but
now?
before we start, what are the two screens we're looking at, please, Jace?
Okay, so come on. He started it. So yep.
So it just started here, and as you can see from the multimeter there, you're seeing the voltage going up. So that means we are charging. Now, you're not seeing the GUI at the top moving quite yet due to the fact that it has to go through the cloud and all that kind of stuff to update. So there's a little bit of delay there, but that will update every 10 seconds once it starts. So we already see some data now. We're already at 1%, and it's been 10 seconds.
Yeah, so for comparison purposes...
Hang on, did somebody start a stopwatch? Did anybody start a stopwatch?
Do that now.
Okay, well, I just put the lap function on here. Okay, so we started, let's call it 30 seconds late. My apologies. If you were
just give a feeling for this, we're already at what, a 4% just coming up, in a matter of less than a minute. Just to give you a feel for the difference in terms of charging speed, which is, it's a combination of reasons why this first 10,000 milliamp hour product will be the fastest of its kind available.
Beautiful. All right, can you keep that on the screen, Philip? And let me just go through a couple more pieces that kind of explain the business and the kind of the thinking behind it. So what we figured was, look, we've got a nice big battery. We've got a beautiful big screen, not that big, but a beautiful screen, powerful chip inside. As I mentioned earlier on, Iontra's tech needs a slightly more powerful chip than normally goes into this kind of product, but silicon is incredibly low cost, a part of the overall cost of making a product like this these days. We've got buttons on it to control various things. We've got Bluetooth, and we've got an app that goes with it. So what we have basically is a bona fide smart device. So what are smart devices? Well, increasingly, the things we get are smart. Smartphones obviously have been smart for a while. They've got smart in the name. But that was an innovation at the time. When we got our first smartphones, we'd never had products that got better as you owned them. Modern cars do this as well. Again, it's a revolution in the last few years. Fitness devices, thermostats, smart speakers, even fridges have this these days. And so MAGFAST Gen 2 products are going to be firmly right in the middle of this. And there's all kinds of things that we can do with this philosophy. We're not ready to announce anything just yet, so no promises, but we have some very, very cool ideas in development. One of the ones I think that we will almost certainly be including is a really fun way of helping you to be significantly more secure online. There's still a lot of too many people having their stuff stolen all the time. And I think there's something that we can do that helps you leapfrog not just the two-factor authentication you're always being told to turn on, but in a way that's incredibly simple to use, and that we've been testing the technology in MAGFAST for several years now. I think we're going to be able to help you make your life way more secure, and that's perhaps something that you can do and help members of your family, especially older members of your family, with as well. Guys, is there anything you want to say as we're going along? You know, let's just stop in every minute or two and see how we're getting along. I need to put my glasses on to see, but I think we are now at 3 minutes. Let's see what the percentage of charging is now at the 3-minute mark. We've only been charging for 3 minutes. Can we get that up on the screen? And it looks like after 3 minutes, we are already 19.52. Oh, it just popped over. So just over 3 minutes, just over 21% charged already. And as I say, you saw the names of the universities, the labs, the government departments that have been checking out that this stuff is indeed doing what we're saying, and the guys can explain all this. This is much more complex to explain why the safety profile of the products improves as well. Everyone remembers the Samsung debacle of kind of a few years ago, where they had to bring back a lot of their products because of fires on planes. So we think that this is super exciting. We've got several other products that are going to come along in the slipstreamers. This will be the first one, the 10,000 milliamp hour. We're then also going to do a 5,000 milliamp hour. 5,000 milliamp hour is a great form factor because it allows you to go super small, like this. If this is your phone, 5,000 milliamp hours, you can make it nice and small and carry it around. It's more of a kind of one-person thing. I mentioned that 10,000 can be suitable for kind of, you know, for a family for a day or whatever. 5,000 is more of a one person. I do this all the time, and so we're going to have this beautiful thing, nice and slim like this. We'll be able to snap on. It'll have most of the other qualities of the 10,000. Right, 5,000. It's a smaller profile, smaller electronics, so it might not be quite as fast in and quite as fast out, but super convenient, and it'll be using Iontra technology inside, which means that it will significantly outperform others of its generation. And another thing that we're going to do with the 10,000, where's my sample here? Get ready for something like this. So there's a lot of materials to get ready, and it looks like I've oh no, or is it over here? No, I've misplaced it. You know what? I will just demonstrate it for you. I'm going to show you a base station in a second, because we've got power in and out on the product. You're going to be able to put it on the back of your phone during the day, then come home in the evening and snap it straight on like that. You're able to charge them together like that at night, just making sure that the green screen isn't losing it all. And then in the morning, you can just take your phone away if you would like, and leave the charger charging, or take them both if it's going to be a busy day. We don't know of anyone else who's doing that, and it's going to be enhanced. We're going to do this right out of the gate, but it's going to be even further enhanced when we get our Gen 2 connector working, which I mentioned earlier. So let's look at the other products. Oh, here's one great one for the business traveler. 27,000 milliamp hours. Now you might think after 10 and 5 that 27,000 is a funny number. 27,000 milliamp hours is actually the maximum that you're allowed to take on a plane. So this is the maximum if you're flying for business or whatever that you can take with you. 10,000 milliamp hours is obviously proportionately more than the others. It's nearly 3 times the 10. So you'll be able to, you know, run. Typically, that's about the size of a laptop battery. I think mine here is around that level. So you get to kind of run the whole of your laptop. Again, many more charges for cell phones and tablets and other devices. But we're doing it in this extraordinary. Can you just pull it up full screen? Because I want to just talk to it for a second, please, Philip. We're going to do it in this beautiful flat form factor. Beautiful flat form factor. And 2 things happen when we do this. One is you get more real estate to play with on the surface. It means that we can have our beautiful readout and 2 wireless charging ports. You've got lots of power in there, so you're going to be able to throw a couple of phones on there and charge them nice and conveniently. We'll also have USB-C in the side. But I want to, Philip, if you could just put the camera on me for just a second. I want to just illustrate how great it is when you have when you have a flat device like this. When you travel, I'm just going to, can I lift it up here? Yeah. When you travel, when you travel with your laptop, right? And you typically fold it up like this, and you slide it into a backpack or a bag or whatever. The problem then is typically if you've got a nice big power bank that you're traveling with, you've got this lovely slim laptop in a slim bag, and now you've got this brick that you have to carry around as well. So we're going to go to this lovely slim form factor. This isn't the product, but it's just something that illustrates what it's like. Look how this is going to be. It's going to be about this kind of thickness. It's going to slide right in alongside your laptop. Way, way more convenient for travel. All right, let's go back to the lab and see how we're doing. I'll get the stopwatch up here. See where our time counter is at. I am at 8 minutes, just over 8 minutes, and it looks like, let's just zoom in on it. We're already over a third full. We're just on 35% there, running up to 35% full. That's extraordinary after just 8 minutes. Kind of amazing, right? Right, let's continue looking at the new products. So I hinted that we were going to do a home charger as well, and this thing is as gorgeous as the others, and more. And I wanted just to show you a few pictures that show how this works. So this is very typically this category of devices have 2 or 3 charging ports on them. So let's zoom in and have a look. So on the left is the empty product. On the right, you can see it, and here we've started to load it up. We've got on the top your phone charging, and on the second port, the lower one, the horizontal one there, we've got one of our 5,000 milliamp hour products, which is able to pass power through, maybe to some wireless headphones. All right. So this is the kind of thing. This is the kind of thing we're talking about. We don't have anybody who's doing anything like this. Let's just load it up. There it is with just, and of course, yeah, you can put the 5,000 or the 10,000 straight onto the top like that. Then you can add your phone like that. Beautiful. You can put a pile of these little guys on. I think we're going to do multi-packs of these. I think people are going to want quite a few of these 5,000s. Stack them up like that. And we're also going to put one around the back. That's a place where, with the magnets, you can actually put a good wireless headphone can go vertically on the back there. We're going to have it so that you can charge your 27,000 milliamp hour product. We're calling it the Slate internally, and we think the Slate could really be something. You'll be able to charge everything on the home charger like this. We're going to do a black version, a sixth black version of Lux Pro, because you're going to need to be moving a lot of power into these devices. They're going to be able to suck power in really quickly. So to do that, you're not just going to be able to use if you've got if you do understand this, you need a power brick that's up to the job. All right, these little guys. Lots of us have many of these hanging around the house. Something like this will still charge any power bank, but it's going to do it very slowly. It'll charge your phone, but it's going to do it very slowly because typically this only has 5 watts. We're going to be bringing you one, and I think could we show this from the top camera, because it's actually what I'm using right now. We're going to do. Can we see this over here? Is it on camera? Just on camera. Just coming in on the side here. So this is a 140 watt product, a brick. That's what's going to be needed for getting the power in, because Iontra can help us suck in the power so very quickly. So 140 watts power delivery from PowerBrick Pro 140. We'll put it together in a launch bundle where you'll get the PowerBrick Pro, the 10,000, and also Lux Pro in a beautiful black. And the Lux Pro is at the stage where we're just sampling the colors at the moment, making sure they're right before we go to production. So that is the MAGFAST system of consumer products. I think it'd be a good moment to bring Rex back in, and if John Fanning is with us, I'd love to get John in at the moment. We do have one more treat to show you in terms of products in just a second. But John, I mean, you've been with us, kind of goading us and pushing us harder over the last few months as we've been working on these. And I want to just sort of hear your reaction, sort of as a consumer, which is what most people are going to be, as a mentor and also as an investor to what we've just shown.
Yeah, well, I think particularly with respect to this business deal that we've done to bring in a partner, I think it's important to emphasize that, when you make these types of dramatic advances like this, generally what will happen is everybody in the industry, will scramble to catch up. And I think the very powerful thing about this relationship is we at MAGFAST have the exclusive right to this technology. And so, the people are going to be scrambling to catch up, but they're not going to be able to catch up with 10 years worth of research and development that's been completed by our partner. So I was really excited about this partnership. I think this clearly puts the fast in MAGFAST, puts us at the top of the industry. And, of course, as a consumer, you look at that screen and that phone is already, a third charged in just the amount of time we've been on the air. It's very impressive. And particularly, you're out traveling, you're at an airport, you got to catch a flight, you don't have a lot of time and you want to keep your stuff charged. I think that's critically important from a consumer's perspective.
I'm just actually going to ask, thank you, John. I'm just going to ask Jace to check your equipment there, because it looks like the readout has paused at 35%, because that was the number that I read out a little bit earlier on. Or do you know that and you have an explanation?
So I've got Daniel Higgs, who's a senior member of the team here at Iontra. So actually, what you're seeing is two different things. There's this multimeter at the bottom, which is actually showing real time what's going on. The top display goes via the cloud, and sometimes it just falls behind, gets a little bit stuck. So Daniel, do you want to just talk to that for a second?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got literally thousands of individual batteries in this facility running, and they're all sending data to our cloud. And so right this second, we do have a bit of a traffic jam, but we've called the police and the fire brigade, and they're on our way. Metaphorically, that is, to fix the situation.
I hope they aren't coming from England as well.
Another Brit, right? What's going on? But what we can tell by the voltmeter here, for those of you that are sciencey, it says 4.16 or so. When it gets to 4.2, that's the most voltage. So that's the strength of the energy you're putting in, the strength of those electrons you're putting in, that you can do in a battery without damaging it. So at that point, you actually keep putting electrons in, but you put them at less strength. And so when we're at 4.2 volts, we're about 80% full. So we can use that as a metric as we look at this and we think about how long this is taking to charge. And that 80% is going to be more than 1.5 or so cell phone charges. So in about 20 minutes or so total time, we typically get to about that 80% or that 4.2 volt mark. So we can flag that as a great indicator of how charged we are. And in the meantime, we'll try and get the visualization graphic on the.
Yeah, Jace will tell us when the graphic is back in a moment or two. But before you cover something, so let me just introduce Daniel. He is a fellow Brit. In fact, I know Daniel from a previous life in the clean tech space. So, Daniel, do you want to just show us a little bit about what goes inside this power bank? Because you can illustrate that quite quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I've got a fairly old but pretty robust model of a previous version of the form factor that you've seen today. So of course,
superseded by what Seymour's already showing us.
Exactly. The one that Seymour was showing us is what will be released. And this is a slightly older version. And it's a power bank. But basically inside of this is a set of 4 batteries. And you can kind of see.
Can we zoom in, please, Philip, so we can see a little closer? Thank you.
So this is a power bank, and inside that, on the bottom 2/3 or 3/4, you have these 4 batteries. And when you take away that thermal insulation, you have something that looks just like this. So what we're doing in our experiments is we're cycling these exact cells with the right power that would enable us to charge the whole power bank at that same charge time. And that's what Seymour was talking about earlier, is that there are 2 main reasons we can get faster charge. One is getting higher power in, and then the other is the Iontra Charge Control, or ICC technology.
There we go. Very good. So we have this kind of extraordinary combination. The fastest power banks, certainly in this category, and in fact agnostic to the type of cell, right? So exactly. As we bring out the slimmer form factor power banks that Seymour's been showing, the 5,000 milliamp hour and then the 27,000 milliamp hour, they'll all be able to take advantage of this technology. And we are the only company that right now is taking advantage of this approach. We'll be the first to market, and we suspect we might be the first to market with the other capacity power banks as well. So there we are. All right, so Jason, traffic jam not yet.
Our infrastructure team's looking into it.
Okay, all right. Okay. Anyway, so we'll be able to show, but let's have a look at the two power banks that we had before. You'll see that this guy here with the Qi 2 is now approaching 50%, and Seymour will tell us how long we've been going on that. For now, you're getting about the same kind of reading.
Yeah, we're an hour and 5 minutes on charging these conventional ones, and one's at about 50%. The other, bless it, I mean it's at 90. That's not bad, but it's still running orders of not quite an order of magnitude, but it's still running at a fraction of the speed that we're going to be able to do.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so back to you, Seymour.
Brilliant. So I said that we have one more thing. The MAGFAST consumer products are on the screen here right now, going from left to right. We've got the home charger. This thing is going to be a doozy. You're going to want one by your bed, on your desk, in your den, in the kitchen. It's just going to be a really, really phenomenal product. And just to be clear, none of these products require buying any of the other products. They're all going to work great with the products that you have today. However, when they're married with other members of the MAGFAST system, the MAGFAST family, we're going to be able to get these extraordinary levels of performance.
Just to interrupt, so we got to 80% just about a minute ago. So
beautiful.
80% on the test rack.
Very good. So products. One more thing. We spoke about this briefly the last time that we met. We are developing a product for public charging. Now, this of course doesn't contain a battery. This is going to be fixed and wired in. Certainly, the first version will be. So, won't itself be using Iantra, but it's going to use a lot of the other innovations that we're developing in the system, and it allows a completely new business model. So let's just look at it for consumers. There's this gorgeous interactive touch screen that can have offers and things on it as well, but also menus, travel schedules, that kind of thing. It's also going to have my slide was building a little slowly. Offers and so on down the bottom there. It's also going to have fast wireless, as you'd expect, magnetic charging, so you can just snap your phone right on the side. And then because when people are not so much in restaurants, but certainly when they're around traffic hubs and other public places, they want to plug their laptop in, we have fast wired USB-C charging. Okay, so this is going to be a very powerful, useful product. And I want to just show you real quick why we think it's very powerful from a business point of view. It's going to contain a series of technologies that allow it to be a true smart device. Because on top of this smart silicon, it's going to have NFC that allows secure connections, proof of presence, which means that payments and so on are possible. We're going to build in Bluetooth. We're going to have Wi-Fi. One of the things we want to do is many of these places have difficulty setting up good Wi-Fi systems. You all know how bad public Wi-Fi can be in some places, fantastic in some places, but difficult to distribute in others. We're going to build in a Wi-Fi mesh system to help public places to deliver Wi-Fi to their customers, paid or unpaid. That'll be up to them. We're going to build that technology in, and of course we're not talking about it very much today, but we've got the Gen 2 MAGFAST technology. So what does all of this make possible? Well, it means that we can offer interactive micro advertising. The opportunity that is represented by advertising in public is a huge global market. We're still sizing it at the moment, but I want to give you just one slightly comical example that we came across when we were researching whether there was a valuable market or not. The gentlemen watching this will know that occasionally, when you go to use the facilities, particularly in a more modern place like an airport, there is sometimes a little mini billboard above the standing facility. Those in an airport, they are typically rented out for $30 a month, something like that. Might be a little more, that might be a little less, but something like $30 a month. The thing is that people are only able to read the advertising message for a minute or so at a time. So our estimates of the value of each of these stations are at least an order of magnitude greater than that. Each of these stations, we think, can be very profitable, and that means that it can cover its own costs within the first couple of months. So the model here, Rex will talk a little bit more about the public charging. We've got a special guest, a special message from someone who's an expert in this area coming up a little bit later on. But we believe that this can be a very, very powerful additional source of revenue. So micro-targeting of advertising. What else can we do? Promotional revenue shares for things that are promoted on the screens, and also customized service delivery of various kinds as well. So we're super, super excited about this. And as soon as we can, maybe even at launch, we'll ship it with the new MAGFAST Gen 2 connector. All right. Let's have a look what it might look like. So here it is. We've mocked it up in a Starbucks environment here. Here it is at the airport. There are quite a lot of places, quite a lot of airports now have these places where lots of people can grab a coffee or whatever and sit. They provide charging. It's typically not very good. It's often broken. We believe with this model we can deliver a very high quality charging product that could be free or paid, depending on the venue and depending on the testing in our business model. But specifically, the advertising delivery and the other services can be a great source of revenue. So we think that this is going to be a very powerful part of the ecosystem. It's MAGFAST fast, reliable, and profitable public charging. So with all of these products, and that is all of us, the 5 products, we're kind of going back to our roots: magnetic, fast, MAGFAST. And we're really, really proud of what we've just shown you. We're excited about the technology. We're running very, very long at the moment, but I know I can see that crazy numbers of people are still with us. I guess that's a testament to how exciting this stuff is. Rex has got a few more slides just to talk about the business model. If we can bring him back in. Are you able to see the screen, Rex, if I throw the slides up and take us through a little bit about the business? Because I know that there are a lot of investors and potential investors. In fact, as of 20 minutes ago, I think a button should have appeared on your screen. If not, you go to magfast.com/invest. We are doing a round of investment at the moment. We've got some perks for everyone who invests in this round. We've got some perks for our existing investors. We've got some special perks for anybody who decides to go ahead and invest today if you really love what you're seeing. I've got something extra special for you. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. But first of all, Rex, why don't you take us through the outline of the business? And we don't hear his microphone at the moment.
We do. Now we do. Yes. Okay. So if you could take us forward through to marketing. So I think if you think, certainly in previous presentations, we've really focused very much on the products, and we've spent a lot of time talking about these very exciting new products that are coming out, and the technologies, the underlying technologies, which make this big difference. Remember, it's not just about ICC, it's not just about Iontra. There are many innovations that are coming along. But we've also talked about the fact that MAGFAST really has a whole range of new opportunities because of the new team, the new access, both to technologies and partnerships like this one. And I think that if you're an investor in MAGFAST, the best is truly yet to come, because we're talking about some very different things now in terms of both channels and the network effect. I think there's something of a crescendo which we're going to be talking about here. But I'm going to start really by focusing a little bit on online, the space that MAGFAST is so dominant in already. I mean, I think I can say this. I think I can say this, Seymour. I mean, Seymour and his team and the marketing group that MAGFAST has, and of course the extraordinary work that Kate does, and Philip and Eric and everyone else who's involved in doing it, has been quite remarkable for a small team in terms of really developing MAGFAST's presence on the internet. And we're going to build on that. Nothing changes in terms of that kind of space that MAGFAST exists in right now. And there are 3 areas we're going to talk about. The first of them is demand, which essentially in the past has been advertising. The second is what happens once you arrive at the MAGFAST website, that is converting people. the actual arrival there. Not very much change, but a few innovations that are coming in. And the third thing is to talk a little bit about attribution. And we're going to bring the amazing Amanda Matthews. If Amanda, you're in the room, you're coming up in just a moment or two to talk about how we do the analytics to make sure that the advertising spend that we engage in really is being handled extremely well. It's about optimizing what we're doing on the internet. Okay, so if I just go into the first of those, up until now, in terms of demand generation, MAGFAST has been focused very much on paid media. That means advertising principally on Facebook, with a certain amount of Google advertising, particularly in YouTube. But we are just starting to do an experiment with 12 different influencers. The whole field of influencer marketing is the next step. Now, initially, they're going to be working with some new content for us, and we're going to start outreach in that area. And I think, Philip, you have a little montage of a handful of those influencers. And I'm not even sure you've seen this, Seymour, have you?
I'm not looking forward to it. Here's the static of one of them.
Here's a static
Okay,
one.
yeah,
So Seymour, so Philip, are you able to run a little montage of the first flu?
How your phone is charging?
We've all had that one wire that was so broken it only charged from a specific angle, right?
Who cares if it breaks right when you need it or it takes forever to charge your phone?
Your precious smartphone, $1,000. Its lifeline, $5. Makes no sense, right?
I'm guessing you've never heard of MAGFAST Lux cables before?
Upgrade to MAGFAST Lux. This gorgeous cable is fast, won't tangle, it's tough as nails but silky and soft.
Lux cables are essential for me now. They're super strong and able to withstand 25,000 bends, making them a lot stronger than standard charging cables.
Stop settling for cheap. Get MAGFAST Lux and start charging like a pro.
Where has this been all my life? It's mine now.
So, what did you think? What did you think? First view.
Yeah, fantastic. And actually, that last one, it's kind of how people react to this product when they get it in their hands.
So we've had a little bit of a skunk works going on, and Seymour has not been involved in this at all. So with Michael Fanning and with John Jr. and myself, we've been working on these. So we'll have a lot more of that. We'd love to get your take on those things. And of course, if anybody here, any of our investors, any of our customers, any of the fans and supporters of MAGFAST would like to come in and submit your own content, we would love to have you engage. We want to expand the outreach. So that's on the demand side. Let's move forward very briefly to the conversion side. Which we seem to have skipped over the conversion side, but the conversion side of things, we've relied in the past on long form webinars. This is one of them. In case you hadn't noticed, long form means it goes on for quite a long time, mainly because we have these old power banks which take a very long time. These actually very current power banks. This one's at 99%. After, Seymour, you'll tell us the number of hours.
I will just find out how long. Yeah, we're over an hour and a quarter. So that one did well. It's actually gone a little faster than last time.
A little faster than last time. And the other one here is 58% in that same time.
Yeah,
so long form webinars are definitely the right format when you are charging with today's power banks. But because we're going to need to cover these things in a very short fashion because of the much faster charging times, and I do have them for you in a second, we're going to be adding short-term videos, something we call video sales letters, to the conversion process. I'm actually going to give you that's a bit of a segue into the speeds. So we got to, unfortunately, the web letters down ultimately in terms of representing this, but we got to 80% in 15 minutes 43 seconds using the internal timer. We got to 90% in 18 minutes and 32 seconds. So 80% in 15 minutes 40, nearly 16 minutes to 80%.
Right, and let's just be clear. Most power banks stop at 90 because that's all that they can safely do. We're going to be able to go a little bit further than that with this technology. So we do carry on charging a little bit further. And the other thing that I should just mention, the numbers that Rex are quoting is the actual percentage of the battery. Typically, these kind of readouts, they're giving you the percentage of the amount of the battery that they allow you to use. So they will typically scale it back. They've got 100%. They'll say, we're only going to use 9/10 of it. We're only going to use 90% of it. We'll call that 100. That's fair. That's entirely fair because you're only ever going to be able to for safe, you're only able to use that amount of it. We're going to be able to use, remember the word was utilization. We're going to be able to use more of the battery. We're going to keep moving, Rex. But I mean,
Yeah.
those
Just give you, and by the way, the last 10% is actually the slowest. So so
always,
100% in this case in 27 minutes roughly. So we'll keep moving through. That was really just a way of kind of tying. Marketing has nothing to do with with those times really, but nevertheless, just wanted to kind of close the loop on that experiment we did there.
So let's skip on and talk about attribution.
So let's bring in the amazing Amanda Matthews now. So attribution is all about optimizing ad spend. So Amanda really is one of our secret weapons here. Many individuals, many agencies, many companies purport to do incredible things in terms of doing the analysis as to where the ad dollars are being spent successfully. But we and Amanda and her little team have actually figured out now, after quite a lot of work, hey Amanda, have figured out now how to get much more precise. So over to you. Tell us the story.
Well, honestly, marketing attribution is always complicated. It's always challenging for every company ever. But it really comes down to doing more of what works and less of what doesn't, which sounds really simple. But what it comes down to is absolutely measuring things accurately every time, making sure you know who's doing what and what's working, because you have to be accurate and precise and make sure all of those numbers come together into a great picture so that you can spend the money that you're spending really wisely. Because it doesn't help you to throw money at something that might get clicks but doesn't get conversions. That's not useful. So what you really want to do...
That's called fool's gold, right?
Oh yeah, it looks pretty. You're getting those click-throughs. Looks gorgeous. It's all shiny and it doesn't help. So what we've been working on is making sure that even though individual platforms will try and claim, all the individual platforms will try and claim each and every click as having come from them, we're sorting out exactly what does and doesn't come from each platform that we're using. We're also using all those great data structures that we've been building to create a better image of how all of those different ways of communicating with our customers interact, where people are falling out of that funnel, and making sure that we bring them back in at each of those steps. Because if we send traffic that is interested and engaged, and then we don't follow up with them at each step of the funnel when they don't engage, that's an us problem, not a them problem.
Yes,
and we
it
can
is.
that. I think it's less about cart abandonment and more about, are you engaging your customers at every step?
Indeed. I wish we will do a long one with Amanda sometime, because the stuff that she's doing, she has a way of making this stuff that is kind of rather dry and complicated, kind of fun and interesting, and simplifying it. Basically, the problem with attribution is when you advertise on an influencer platform, or you advertise with YouTube, or you advertise with Facebook or any place else, they'll all give you numbers saying that they're responsible for the sale. But typically we know that in the real world, right, Amanda, someone might see an ad here and click, but then they don't do anything. And then they see an ad on another platform over here, and then a friend mentions it to them. And then they see an influencer, and several things happen that add up to the sale. And if you're going to spend your money, you need to understand that one sale can only produce one amount of marketing. Like, you know, if you want to spend 20% of your budget on marketing, $100 sale, you got $20 to distribute amongst all of the places that contributed to the sale. It's actually a complicated mathematical problem. Amanda's one of the few people I've ever met who actually has the chops to solve it, and we're really grateful for that. We're running very long. I'm so sorry, Amanda. We got to keep moving. It's not me, by the way. It's Rex and the other people. They just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We were fast. We were 27 minutes to 100%.
So. Rex, let's talk quickly about, thank you so much, Amanda. Let's talk quickly about, do you want to talk about channels real quick? Yeah, trade shows.
Yeah, let's just jump in. Many people have been encouraging us for many years, and we've been building up to this. I think people didn't believe it was going to happen, but we've been building up for a long time to exhibiting at trade shows. At last, we'll be doing that. The first one is CES. It's not like MAGFAST you're going to see with some enormous great booth. That's not the way we'll play it, but we will be building the relationships at this CES, and we'll actually be partnering with Iontra in that. We're going to be talking about large-scale retail in a second. I'm going to bring in Andrew Dubin in a second, and it'll be very interesting to see if John Fanning can jump in for a moment or two and talk about some of the major partnerships that we now have access to. So, Andrew, can we bring you in right now, if possible? There's the amazing Andrew. Now, Andrew, give us, if you will, just a little tiny bit of your history and your pedigree, and the reason why you're the man to be doing this for us.
Certainly. So first off, it's a great pleasure to be in the company of these two gentlemen who I've had the honor of working alongside of for the last number of months, happily. My background, my pedigree, as you call it, is a merchant. I've been a merchant or a chief merchandising officer for several important brands that many people may recognize and know. I was head of product management for 10 years at Toomey and helped build the product architecture there to bring that company into the public area. And we did IPO. From there, I went on to become the chief merchandising officer for Cole Haan, a shoe company, and after the purchase from Nike. So I was part of the team to rebuild that enterprise and make it even better. I've gone on through the years to work for Victorinox and Swiss Army in Switzerland, and went on to be their chief merchandising officer for all product categories. And more than anything, just am a student, if you will, of great products, and have been a partner to sales organizations as a merchant in the strategy and the development of retail distribution. So part of my role here is to assist and strategically guide and help build partnerships for MAGFAST as it goes into its next chapter of distribution, which is to say from moving from online into retail brick and mortar, which I'm very excited to help them with.
Fantastic. One of the things that's amazing about working with Andrew is because you heard the names of these brands. I mean, Toomey. He's worked with these extraordinary brands. I think most people don't understand, would have even difficulty appreciating. Andrew has this extraordinary sense of the moment that a customer experiences a product. There's a kind of a moment when the box is opened and you're sort of touching it for the first time, and the way that it generates kind of feeling and emotion within the customer. And I'm really proud of the products we've shown you today. I'm here to tell you that they are next level as a result of the contributions that Andrew has made. We came with stuff that we were really excited about, and I think you'd have loved. And Andrew was like, "Yeah, but I think we can go a level further than that." So I wanted to say a heartfelt thank you to you, Andrew. Tell us a little bit about how we get this much wider distribution base that's part of our future.
Sure, I will, but I'll just interject a quick point because I can't not. Working with these two guys and the expanded product team, I haven't been this excited about product in quite many years. And it has to do with everything about understanding trend in products and product creation. It's each new product that comes out is an iterative advancement in a technology. But what's going on here, and that is 1 + 1 = 2, right? But what's going on here is we're taking battery technology, we're coordinating with Iontra and in many other areas, next generation thinking, to get to a place in the future that the consumer will be demanding as soon as it's there, way before the rest of the pack. And that is powerful. That's exciting. And these guys get it. And I've been lucky enough to be in association with a short number of organizations and brands that actually had that combination of people and thinking and dynamic enterprise behind them. And in this case, it's fueled by people like Fanning to make this reality occur. So I'm very, very excited about it. So short answer, I'm thrilled to be here and to get to the strategic plan and what we're thinking about. What we're looking at is a very programmatic approach to a distribution plan, which is a multi-year, multi-channel expansion for the brand. So in the first year, in 2025, after the initial CES, we will start to reach some independent consumer electronics specific retailers. We'll engage a few regional consumer electronic retailers, and we'll engage a B2B incentive marketing, if you will, form or channel of distribution. In the following year, we'll increase the numbers of those retailers mentioned and add to it national chains, telcos, and potentially travel retailers. Again, with each introduction of a new channel, we'll start small, but then grow it and focus in on it with important partners and details. By 27, we'll add international and domestic distributors, and the potential for this. Well, if there are in the U.S. alone 85,000 points of sales, or doors, if you will, in retail, we can hope to achieve a small penetration each year, growing that number, growing a percentage of that number each year, and become a well-known brand. The key aspect of being at retail is that consumers recognize you. It's one thing to be on the World Wide Web and to be online. It's a very different thing when they see your products in retail stores, because it reinforces the brand. So this is brand building 101 at its very core, and MAGFAST is ready for that. And the product lineup that Seymour showed you, stunning, gorgeous, and high performance. It's going to be really well received by all those consumers and the future points of retail we'll be going to. So very excited.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
Brilliant. I know you were waiting a long time to come in. We're going to say thank you and let Andrew go.
Yes.
I hope you're noticing that it's not just top tier products that we've got involved with MAGFAST. So there's Andrew. John Fanning, I know, had another appointment. He stayed on for a few extra minutes. And I'm hoping, Andrew, John, you can just talk quickly to, we're going to be careful here because there are investors watching. I want to make sure we're not representing a partnership that isn't in place yet, but maybe you can talk to the kinds of partnerships that we're working to develop.
Well, sure. Just to reinforce some of the messages that we heard from Andrew, I'm not sure if you guys even know this, but back in the 1980s, the company that I owned, CompuMart and Cambridge Digital, we were the very first resellers of Apple product in the world. We were the first Apple dealer. And we had helped Apple to sell their first $5 million worth of product. And we did it in exactly the way that Andrew described. We had to get that product out in front of people. We had to get it in front of labs, schools, universities, corporate buyers. And in order to do that, you have to have first built something great. You have to have built a great product. And the exciting thing about what we've done at MAGFAST is we've put that hard work in. We now have products that are great products that will get people excited. And so when we talk about getting into distribution, getting people's attention, getting into retail stores and retail markets, I remember Andrew was talking about CES, and we sold our company, we sold Napster to Best Buy. And the last time I was at CES, I was with Brad Anderson, who was the chairman of Best Buy. And Brad said to me, "Hey, John, are you going to walk the floor?" And I said, "I don't have a badge." And Brad said, "Oh, that's not a problem. Here, you can take mine." And he gave me his badge, and I walked the floor of CES with a badge that said Brad Anderson, chairman of Best Buy. And I can tell you, there were people just coming out of the woodwork to come see me to try to get me involved in helping their business sell products. So when you talk about these retailers like Best Buy and the opportunity for me to leverage some of the relationships that I've built over the last 20 or 30 years, I'm excited because, I've never had a product or a company that built phenomenal product that I could use to leverage those relationships. And I've got friends, people who have, served as the chairman of Verizon and the chairman of Sprint and, relationships I've built over 20 or 30 years. And I'm excited to take these great new products and introduce them into the network, into my relationships, and see if we can take and build the kind of scale it takes to build an incredibly successful company.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, John. I know you have to go, but I wanted to say again publicly, you have we call this power pivot. This show, a pivot, sometimes it's called an inflection point. You catalyzed the most important pivot, the most important inflection point in the company's history. We're very grateful to you, and I think perhaps John's greatest quality is, I mean, you've heard his resume, you've heard the kind of individual he is, the kind of network that he has, but day to day, meeting with him in conversation, you would never know it. He's just one of our peers, one of our friends. We make each other roar with laughter every day. And you've helped us to just create a really wonderful environment for moving forward. So thank you.
You're welcome. And I don't like to tell too many of those stories, but I think the key, the point that you're making is, we work day in and day out to build relationships that enable us to get technology like you spent the last hour showing people. This is technology that will make this the best company in the world. We're taking that underlying core technology, and it's a lot of hard work to get it there, but now it's there. And we're going to leverage it to ship products that are legitimately the best in the world, the fastest charging products in the world. That's very exciting. It's real. You have to work at it every day. And we've accomplished incredible things. And, I think, we've sort of had this net capital investing experience that's gone on, and we've fought really hard to make this a community of people, a family of people that are all working together, that all get to share in the benefits of the success. And it's really important to me. And I know it's really important to you, Seymour, and the people at MAGFAST, that we're doing this together. And when you buy products and you love the products and you tell people, that matters. And when you have a bad experience with us and there are things we need to do better and you tell us, we listen, and that matters. And that's how you not only build great products, but you build great companies. And that's what we're here to do this together. And I know we've got thousands of people that are watching right now, and we need thousands of people on our team to help us day in and day out. And I'm excited to be here. I mean, it's a great community. It's a great community of incredibly supportive people, and hopefully, we can all experience the success together.
Thank you, Joe. You've been amazing. You've done so much for us since you've been involved. So much since you've been involved, and it's so much potential for us.
And there's so much more. And there's so much more to do, and we're just at the start.
Oh yeah. We know it to be true.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't mind, just one more very quick thing. So, if you will, let me see more very quickly. So, John and all his potential connections and all the things. I'd just like very quickly to bring in Shanshan Lee from Iontra, who is an existing partner right here. Shanshan, if you're there, I know Shanshan wants to say a quick word about the existing relationship we have with you. Ooh, you're very low resolution though, Shanshan, for some reason. So, can we hear you? Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, great.
So Shanshan is senior manager of product management here at Iontra, and she's actually not in the building; she's elsewhere. But she's
streaming live from a coal cellar or something. Shanshan, you look very dark and pixelated,
really?
but we can hear you.
Yeah,
we can hear you, and
okay.
I'm thrilled that you're here.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for inviting me, and really excited to join this call. And I just want to say that we're super excited about this partnership with working with the MAGFAST team by integrating our Iontra charge control technology into their second-gen power banks. We're building on the strengths of both companies. So MAGFAST product design and consumer marketing, and Iontra science-based and lab-proof industry. So so I was working on the back end side with the engineer and scientists, and so I'm looking forward to see it live in a consumer product. So
you've done a wonderful job of kind of handing off your work to us, Shanshan, both on the technology side and in terms of all the market research and consumer. So thank you so much for everything you've done in this partnership for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Shanshan. Appreciate it. All right, we better go on a tear to the end now because we're running. Thank you, Shanshan, so much. She's done so. I feel like everybody here deserves the full time to themselves, and we're having to rush folks in and out. But Shanshan, it's a privilege working with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. So Rex, take us quickly through the
Yeah,
couple of business model slides. Then I'm going to say
yeah.
what the bonuses are that we've got for investors who invest in this round, and particularly if you love what you're seeing and you want to invest today.
So I think the thing about this is we really just want to say in this final segment, and we'll do the whole thing in a small number of minutes, that all these new products, the most advanced products of their kind on the market, the remarkable new distribution opportunities we have, the growth in terms of online marketing and so forth, allow MAGFAST to do some things that we couldn't do before in terms of business models. It's a huge market just in the wireless space. But really, in the past, we've really only had one business model we've used, which is to do with one-off sales. It means that in the past, we've been able to have a product, a piece of hardware, and get it into someone's hands. Not everybody's hands in the past. Gen 1 wasn't shipped to everybody. Gen 2 will, because it'll only be products that ship from stock. But in terms of the history, that means we've had a single margin contribution from an individual sale. We're going to move into a scenario now where we have potential for shared revenue, and we can't go into too much detail with that yet, but just to explain the basics of it. We're actually going to overcome many of the typical issues that startups have in terms of getting adoption of their product by making much of what you've begun to see here today free to install. There will be opportunities for proprietors in certain situations. Andrew talked about getting this both in through retail and elsewhere, free to install. You're going to say, Seymour?
Well, I want to be clear. The consumer products, these will be products that you and other consumers will buy. They'll be products that you will own. The free to install is speaking specifically about the public charges. An important distinction to make. However, we want to create a model for the public charging where you guys can be involved and help us to build the network. Today's not the day to talk about it. Today's not the day to announce it. And we have a lot of more work to do on that. But we really do feel that if you're watching, especially if you're watching us now, not everybody who joined us at the beginning probably was, but I think if you're still with us now, you're supporting us in this extraordinary way. And we do want to try and share that as much as possible as we can with our community.
Yeah. So, and we will. Plenty of opportunities, both in terms of that one-off sale that we talked about, the traditional hardware sale, and the public charging network and so forth. And finally, we'll talk very, very briefly about the fact that there's an opportunity for recurring revenue. Seymour's also has already explained about micro-advertising in the public charging network, a very specific services bundle, the kinds of things that you've already mentioned, the opportunity, for example, at an airport, for example, to download a movie or to do things which are very relevant to you because of the smart technology now available and the network effect. We've talked in the past about the system where if you buy one MAGFAST product, you're incentivized to buy additional ones. Now we're talking about a much bigger network effect, and you'll start to see that it's between the machines in this shared network. But we will come on to that all in a future presentation.
We realize.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, as we started to think about public charging, and by the way, the opportunity for public charging, it's insane if you think of all of the places there are, airports and restaurants and shopping malls and food courts and hotel lobbies and conference centers and concert venues, I don't know, museums, public parks, train stations, bus terminals, hospitals. It's all off the top of my head. I don't have any notes or anything here. Hospitals, universities, libraries, sports venues, coffee shops, tourist attractions, even beaches. All of these become possible. However, this is an area where we felt there was a very strong opportunity, but we wanted to search out a world-class expert in high traffic locations. He's based in Holland, where it is 1 o'clock in the morning right now, and even when we weren't running so late, he wasn't going to be able to join us. So we'd like to just play a quick video from Martin Steur, as I say, who's based in the Netherlands, and is considered one of the world's top experts in the commerce of high traffic locations. We have a little video from Martin. Rexy, let's Philip, if we can roll that now, please.
Hello everyone, my name is Martin Steur. Currently I'm the Managing Director of Kinetic Consultancy, which is an international boutique consultancy for airports, rail, shopping centers, conference centers and other high traffic locations. Next to which, I'm working with MAGFAST on the Gen 2 public charging network, which is an absolute delight because I like what I see. Have you ever traveled through an airport and have seen someone sitting next to a fire hydrant trying to charge their device? Well, you may have seen me sitting there because I get excited not when my device is low, but even when it hits below 50%. Maybe that's the same for you. And that's why I feel there's a big opportunity in airports for a sturdy, well-developed charger. Because it's not only finding a charger, it's finding one that works. And the opportunity lies in a business model, which is, I think, very defensible and profitable. Unfortunately, we cannot share too much right now, but hopefully we can do so soon because we've been designing on a product that will be delivering a fast, smart charging network. And I can't wait to be part of that presentation to you soon and hopefully live where I can join you. Thank you.
Thank you, Martijn. Martijn Ster. He's an extraordinary individual and has already helped us refine the understanding of what these devices can be. We were originally, because we come from charging, well, we were like, oh, the charging. And he made this really interesting distinction. He said, people who interact with something, I think he gave the example, wasn't it, of Instagram. If you run an ad on Instagram, the people who do a single click on it are valued by Instagram, and it was 20 or 30 times higher than the people who simply scroll past it. And so creating interactive advertising in these environments is really important. Just one little nugget that I think is quite interesting. We're talking to Martin. He works with all kinds of different high traffic locations, but he gave us an airport statistic the other day that I thought was interesting. Half of all of the people who go through airports don't spend any money. They come in, they go through the gate, they go and jump on their plane. And so, but airports obviously are very, very high revenue environments. So he's working constantly on how to get the other half of the people to interact. Do you see what I mean? To have a higher level of engagement from the people, higher level of commerce from people going through airports and these other locations, and of course to increase the revenue per head of the 50% who are already interacting in some way. So that's Martijn Ster. So look, we got to wrap this thing up. We've shown you three things: some stunning new products with some extraordinary new technology inside. We've hinted at some bold, broad new marketing efforts, which I think are going to make a big difference. I'm actually super excited. It's the main thing we've been focused, obviously, for the last little while, putting this presentation together. It takes a while to put something like this together, and only seconds of the technology to let you down. But some bold new marketing, and we've just also touched on some extraordinary new business models, including the one that's showing on your screen right now, charging in public places. So we said at the beginning, we wanted to give folks a chance to invest in MAGFAST. I know a bunch of people already have since we opened, but let's just go quickly through the details of this. If you've been with us for a while, you'll be interested to hear the perks in just a second. Some of this is for the new folks. This is all done under the auspices, under a set of rules from the SEC, that's the Securities and Exchange Commission, special rules introduced a few years ago. They limit how much we're allowed to raise. So if you want to support us, I don't know how long we're going to be open. And we're doing it with the folks at Net Capital. It's an SEC authorized portal. There's only a handful of them that are authorized to do so. We think Net Capital is head and shoulders the best, and we've done this once or twice before. In fact, over the years, 5,375 of our investors have joined us, and most of those are our customers. There are a handful who are not also customers. If you are one of those people, oh, God bless you. Thank you so much, customer or investor. We couldn't be more grateful. Thank you for being here now. I hope you're excited by what you've just seen. Got to move quickly because this voice is giving out, but I think I can get to the end of the presentation. So we've got some perks, some bonuses for investors. First of all, for all investors, whether or not you choose to invest in this round, we're going to give you VIP early access to all of the new Gen 2 stuff that you've seen, including early access to possibly joining us as a partner, distributor, whatever it turns out to be with the public charging. So we're going to give you very special investor pricing on that. And yes, if you are buying with that at that special price and you're already holding some of these mag bucks, which is if you're new here and you haven't heard of it, some of our existing folks have a kind of internal currency called mag bucks. Yes, you will also be able to use that. So basically, you'll get the deal of the century on the new stuff, early access and the deal of the century. All right, for this round, which is open for I forget exactly how long it is, but it's another 10 days, a few weeks, a couple of weeks, I think. Invest in this round $1,000 or more, and we'll give you this gift, $185 gift of a set of the rainbow set, we call it, of Lux Pro, the incredible new super cable. It's really the kind of the everything cable, the everything everywhere all at once cable. We're excited about that. It's going to be a few more months before it ships, but can't wait to get those in your hands as well. And if you invest today, we're going to do two things: something we've not done before, and something that we have done before that's been very popular. The first thing is we will guarantee to include you in the first production run of these new products. When we're ready to place the order, we'll get in touch. We'll say, do you want in? And we will guarantee that you get included. The other thing that we're going to do is, which we did in our last round and people absolutely loved, is that for every $500 that you invest before midnight, we're going to give you $100 to spend on products. So if you put all of that together, it's pretty sweet. But you should invest only, of course, if it's right for you. Only if you really believe in the stuff we're doing. Don't invest for the perks. Just consider them to be a nice kind of additional bonus. Let me just summarize everything that I just mentioned to you, because it was quite a lot. All right. There are, for everybody, if you look at the all column, so everybody's going to get early access to the Gen 2 products and special pricing. Everybody who invests $1,000 in this, so whether or not you invest now, you're going to get that if you're already one of our investors. Everybody who invests $1,000 or more in this round, we have to get a certain amount of money in to pay for the goods. But if it's appropriate for you and you can invest $1,000 or more in this round, you'll also get the Lux Pro gift pack, the Rainbow Pack, 5 of those. You can give us gifts. You're not going to want to give them away. You're going to want to keep them for yourself, I think. But if you love it, if you love this and it's right for you and you're as excited as we are about this extraordinary new charging technology and the new products we're working on, if you're able to invest today, then we're going to guarantee that you're in the first production run, and we're going to give you $100 worth of product. We'll give you a discount card, not a discount card. We'll give you a card, $100 for every $500 that you're able to invest. We've done this, as I mentioned, a couple of times before. In 2020, the offering completely sold out. In 2022, the offering completely sold out. I don't know what's going to happen in 2024, but we would love to have you join us if it's appropriate for you to do so. As I say, only if this is right for you. No one should be investing their rent or whatever. But if you have a financial advisor and you allocate some of your money into high risk investments, this would be considered to be a high risk investment. So those are the bonuses. I've got a slide here saying Q&A. We're already 2 hours in. I feel bad if I don't offer to do a Q&A. I also feel bad if we go on any longer. Maybe Rex come back into the room and let's decide. Should we answer a couple of questions now? Kate, thank you. If you have a couple of a couple of quick ones we can do. I don't mind. I'll stay here all night because I love this stuff, and I'm really grateful to the people who are supporting us. Do you have some questions?
I have a few quick ones I think we can get through rapidly. One of the questions we keep getting is, what is the minimum investment?
Minimum investment is just a little over $100, I think. It's a certain number of shares. Is it 107, something like that? Yeah.
Okay. Someone was asking, looks like John was asking, will this only be for iPhones? And he said that while we were talking about the Iontra thing. Yes.
No. This technology is universal. It's for all phones, all devices. Be really clear about it. I happen to have an iPhone, which is why you saw one, which is why I held one up just now. No, a couple of the other slides we did include Androids. You might have missed them as they went past. No, the thing about this connecting system, this system Qi 2, this is universal. This is across the industry. iPhones, Androids.
It's sort of the magnets on it sort of started with Apple, but now everywhere.
Exactly. Yes, thank you. That's a good distinction. Apple originally introduced the ring of magnets. They then shared the protocol with the industry. So MagSafe and Qi 2 are now, for the purposes of consumers, essentially the same thing. Apple obviously pushes the envelope on theirs, and they're sometimes a little bit ahead. But no, this is going to be for everybody, Apple or Android, and all of the stuff that we're making is going to be there, including our own. Remember the connector that we're working on that's going to be, we believe it's going to be even better than this connection. Again, Apple, Android, we don't care, completely agnostic.
Okay, great. Let's just do one more question. Someone asked, when will ACH funding be made available again? Because on Net Capital, they're switching over some things. So you can invest using your credit card and wire.
Okay. I don't know. I have to say I don't know about ACH because Net Capital are good friends of ours, amazing partners of ours, but they are a separate entity, and we don't operate the kind of technology backend. The technology backend, by the way, is significant because it has to meet all kinds of requirements of the SEC. But yes, I believe they were changing their provider recently. I would suggest doing the following. We're not going to be closing for a little while yet. Maybe go in with the credit card, and then switch to ACH later on. But it's entirely your choice because I can't guarantee that you'll be able to swap your investment later. But credit cards is ready to rock and roll right away.
Yep. And then we actually had a bunch of people wanting to name the new chargers. So I don't want to read all of those, but just a couple of good ones are the MAGFAST Elite charger that was from Rhonda. Elite. Yeah, Elite.
Elite it is. Elite is, by the way, I just want to mention, look at this guy. Still not there, right? I mean, we're talking about Elite. It's got to 88% for so yeah, significantly elite. Keep going.
Chandler suggested Renaissance.
Okay.
That's pretty fun. I really like that one.
A rebirth is a Renaissance. Okay.
Yeah, it's very relevant.
Yes.
And then Randy wrote in a bunch. He said Ion Fast, Fast Ion, Mag Ion, Fast Mag, and MagFast Ion. He wanted to somehow get Iontra and MagFast together in the name.
But how about the MagFast Fast Mag? I mean, there you go. Why wouldn't we do
that?
Yeah. Thank you. Those are great suggestions. Keep them coming.
Yeah, we want to hear a lot more. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's it. Yeah.
I think we better wrap, folks. You've been amazing staying on.
So I also want to just jump in and say that there were some questions from customers earlier on. Apologies, questions to customers earlier on. We need to do what we can to make sure those are answered, not individually, but in blocks. And we need to do what we can to make sure your questions from here right now are answered. We're not going to send individual emails to each one of you, but we'll come back with kind of answers to the big, most frequently asked questions.
For those of us who are joining us, like on our at magfast.com at the moment, there should be a button underneath that takes you to the place to invest. If not, on the screen, kind of across my chest at the moment, it says magfast.com/invest. Magfast.com/invest. That's the place to go. Shall I just go through the perks again? Let me just go through the perks again.
Just quickly, I think it's
real quick. So we've got sort of kind of three categories. So everybody who's ever invested, all right, because I appreciate it's not appropriate for everyone today to come in again, but everyone who has ever invested, you're going to get early access to these Gen 2 products and very special pricing, and you'll be able to use MagBucks if you have them in addition to the special pricing. So you're going to get kind of a deal of the century on these, and I do hope when we're ready to ship that you'll join us for that. We're not going to sell them to you now because these days we only sell stuff that is either in stock or coming very soon on a fixed timeline. All right, everyone we're going to be open for a while. Everyone who invests $1,000 or more in this round will get the gifts. Are they up on the screen? Can I put them on the screen real quick? Yeah, let me just show this real quick. The gorgeous Lux Pro. In the rainbow pack, you're going to get the juice orange, you're going to get the seafoam green, you get the candy pink, and the sunshine yellow, as well as alpine white. You're going to get all 5 of those if you invest $1,000 or more in this round. But if it makes sense for you to go ahead and invest today, and we've got a couple of extra things for you that I think, as I say, only do this if you're going to invest anyway. But if you're going to invest anyway, please do it. Today, we're going to make sure that you're included in the first production run, the logistics of which are significant, but we will make sure that you are in that first run. And you'll get $100 essentially to spend at the MAGFAST store, $100 for every $500 invested. And you'll get that pretty soon, like pretty soon after we close the round, you'll get that. So you could actually spend that on existing Lux products if you would like for Christmas gifts and so on. I do want to emphasize to customers and to investors, we've got lots of existing Lux in stock at the moment, and we would love you to raid the warehouse and give them as gifts this Christmas. So please consider doing that. We'll send you some emails and some promotions over the coming weeks so that we can do that. All right, I think that we had better wrap things up there. My name is Seymour Segnet. I'm the founder, the very proud founder and president. Proud not of everything that we've done. We've made some big mistakes in the past, but I'm very proud of the way this team has rallied around this. I'm incredibly proud that the people that you've met today, the caliber of the new folks that you've met today. I'm going to start with Amanda. She's one of the smartest people you will ever meet. She knew everything that was imperfect about MAGFAST, saw what we're doing now, and said, I want to come back. I want to be back. I want to be involved again. You heard her talk about that earlier on. John Fanning, kind of a legend of the internet. You met Andrew Dubin. This guy was the chief merchant. That means like the chief product, like the chief person in charge of products and getting them into stores. That kind of understates it. But I mean, for Tumi and Cole Haan, these extraordinary brands, and then the amazing folks at Iantra. We're talking people of really, what is it? 186 patents. I think they have either issued or in progress at the moment. This is really, really extraordinary work. And MAGFAST is going to be first to market with the Renaissance. What's it called? The Renaissance.
It's the Fast Mag Elite.
The Fast Renaissance Mag Elite. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
And in that list of amazing people, don't forget also Martijn Stur, who's an
Martijn,
he's chair of the International Heaven Alone Knows Association. He's right in there. He can take us into places that really are not accessible. The access and opportunity is extraordinary for MAGFAST.
I think the excitement with which people of that caliber have I mean, Martijn, he's a big deal in his industry, and he's like, we got to do this. So that's it. I hope you love what you've seen today. Thank you again for sticking with us today over the years and again today.
Let me just bring Jason just to say a big thank you to him and to the team here.
Thank you, Jason. Great job today, mate.
Thank you.
See if you can fix the internet before we do this next time, please.
Absolutely.
He can.
Because the internet is officially broken today. It broke during this live stream. We had to restart the live stream.
Twice. Broke twice, right?
It did.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it was while Jace was on screen that.
No.
No comment.
Wasn't intentional. That's what he said.
Good man.
Thank you, Katie, as always. We're going to be back really soon, but here, if you want to invest, that's great. If not, it's been a pleasure having you here, and I hope you can see we're working really hard to make you proud of MAGFAST.